Hello, everybody, and welcome to a No Nonsense podcast with Cathal and Will. Huge fixtures this week. Will, bigger results.
Every week, the games are more and more important.
Every single week, more important than the last. Well, for us, my out there predictions of City win the league and Sheffield going down, they're looking rock solid.
They're looking good. My two guarantees of Liverpool getting top four and Newcastle staying up looking ropey.
They're looking shaky. They're on their...
I stand by them.
You stand by them?
Newcastle, too big to go down, I said.
I don't think he knows what that means. Too big to fail. That's not what that means.
No, honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before.
Nonsense. Talking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?
The Liverpool game is probably the best place to start because it was, and a lot of times we do say stuff like, historic win, but it genuinely was a historic win for Everton in Liverpool. Yeah. First time they won there since 1999.
That seems crazy. That's like...
It does.
How have they never, like, chipped a fucking last-minute winner against the Liverpool B team or anything like that? Like,
yeah, considering that, like, Liverpool fans go on about how long they've suffered and how because they haven't won the title. It's like you've never lost Everton this century until now. I mean,
and Everton have been good as well. Everton have finished above Liverpool. Like,
yeah, Liverpool have had some, like, in their eyes, like some horrendous years, but they've always beaten Liverpool at home. Always beaten Everton at home. That's just a guarantee. That's just a given.
The last time Everton beat Liverpool at Anfield, Liverpool won the Champions League. So even then, it was still pretty good.
Yeah, I mean that's the thing, and also it was still 10 years since they beat them at all. 2010, and who was on that team? The man up here, Seamus Coleman.
Up here to the listeners.
But the listeners, for the listening only, I mean, we might see this in the clip. I have a lovely picture of the happiest I've ever seen Carlo Ancelotti hugging Seamus Coleman like he's his long lost son. It's a lovely picture. And after the game as well, Duncan Ferguson was going around kissing all the homies, making sure they all got some love after the game. It was a COVID outbreak.
I was just going to say, making sure they all got COVID.
Well, he'll be every point at him like, we know it was you, Duncan. You were kissing every after the game. We saw you.
What did you think of the game?
It was a good game, to be fair. I do. Our man, the Turkish wall, again at fault for the goal. I mean, what did we say that he ships 32 goals, a minus 32 goal difference in Schalke when he came?
Schalke, they're bottom of the league.
He brought that form with him to Liverpool, unfortunately.
Although I will say, wasn't it when Henderson went off injured, Liverpool had to play their 18th centre-back partnership this season? They don't even know each other. Like, they've never talked to each other.
Yeah. Like, you don't have to be a Liverpool apologist to say the injuries have really fucked them. Sure. Like,
it's ridiculous. Like,
it's fucked a lot of people. It's fucked a lot of teams, but it has really fucking bent Liverpool over and really given to them. I mean, Nat Phillips came on.
Nat Phillips and the Turkish wall probably came on. He's like, well, how's it going? Nat, nice to meet you.
Yeah. And then if Godfrey one of them gets injured, it's Ben Davis.
Where's he?
I was surprised. I was like, because the commentators even saying, this might be the time for Ben Davis to come on. Nope. He's still on the bench. Someone else comes on. Like, I don't know if he was bought by Klopp or was that just one of those
just in case
kind of buys, because I don't think Klopp fancies him at all. Yeah, Liverpool, I don't think they're going to top four.
I don't think so either, but I have guaranteed it. So.
Yeah, you have to stick by it now. But again, Coleman was amazing for Everton. Everton were really good. He said after the game he did a man-marking job on Robertson, which was interesting because, I mean, that's why Liverpool were so good last year, because they obviously had the two fullbacks.
Everyone was terrified of them last year as well, though.
Like, they had so many weapons. Like, if you just like, I'm going to stop Robertson, then it would have been Alexander-Arnold or it would have been Fabinho. And, like, you couldn't just stop all the avenues. But they've lost so much that Everton, like, well, the only way they're going to create is going to be the fullback. So just mark them out of it, and that's the game, and that's what happened. The penalty. What do you think of the penalty?
Not for me, I don't think.
No way. It was like, again, one of those ones where like I don't understand the rules again. I don't know what's going on anymore.
Every week changes and changes.
It was Alexander Arnold, wasn't it? He tripped over Alexander Arnold's head as he was sat on the floor, prone on the ground. Like, again, we do this a bit like, whataboutery, but like, if it was, say, he was just standing there, like ball watching, and Carvalho careened at the back of him, stumbled and fell over.
But I don't think if it's outside the box, it's foul even. Like, he tripped over a man who was sitting on the ground.
Yeah, no, like in any other way, like it's not his responsibility to get out of the way of you running.
Yeah,
I don't know. And then I guess it didn't really matter because Liverpool weren't going to win the game anyways.
Klopp said after the game that he didn't think it was a penalty, but he also said even if there was no penalty, this game was finishing 1-0 then. Like, he was like, we were shite.
Yeah, no, they were. Like, they did look really, really bad. It looked like a team that was devoid of confidence.
I don't know what's happened to the front three. Like, what's Mane and Firmino especially?
You know what? I mean, they're not getting the same service. That's for one. Like, the midfield obviously has suffered as the defence suffered. And then when you just target the full-backs, that's kind of the last kind of thing they have. So, I don't know. I think it is just down to injuries for them, but I don't know how they're going to get out of this one.
No, they've lost 4 games at home in a row, is it?
Yeah, first time since 1923, apparently.
And surely 5 in a row is the first time ever. Who loses 5 games at home?
Yeah, who'd play next? I wonder.
Tell you now.
Not that it matters. They're playing so badly. They could lose to anyone. Like,
could be playing me and you. Me and you running rings around Trent.
Mark Henderson on one leg for sure. Good job on him. For Everton, though, we should probably focus on Everton having a good game and playing well. But they are an outside bet for Champions League. Do you think? In the form they're in?
Yeah, I don't know. It seems like they drop points every few weeks, though, where it's like, okay, here Everton are making a charge, and then they'll lose to Fulham or something like. So I don't know if they're in the running yet. I still think West Ham are probably more likely than Everton of the two of them.
Yeah, West Ham had a good win actually.
Oh, Jesse Lingard.
Oh, J Lings.
Did you see the full band celebration? What? I love him. When he's playing well, he's so fun.
Every time he dances, it just gives me Vietnam flashbacks to turn the Emirates into a dance floor. I mean, that is really just the most disrespectful thing for a player who's not even that good. I mean, geez, if it's like, one of the best player in the team's like, fuck, I mean, he's just that good. You have to kind of respect it. Like, when it's just Jesse Lingard, it's like, when Jesse Lingard's fucking having a go at you. But yeah, like, it's funny because that when he came out that first game, he scored the goal. I just did kind of like, kind of a solid celebration, fist pump, like, yeah, all right, boys, get back in the game. Probably lack a bit of confidence from having played for 192 games.
2 weeks later, he's like...
And then, the next goal, he's like, yeah, I'm back. I'm going to dance again. And then the next 2 weeks later, he has a full band. It's like, oh, well, this is why no one likes you, Jesse Lingard. Like, it's just when you had the people back on your side, let's get a full band together.
I'm all in. Although I will say, I saw an interview with Sky Sports, I think, where he was talking about, he said in the last 2 years, he doesn't feel like he's got a chance at Man United.
Yeah.
And I thought, I don't know about that. I think you had plenty chance at Man United for like your whole life. Since you're like 6.
Well, it's just the stuff he does, like, it's really insufferable. Like the dancing, like, again, obviously I have a personal thing with dancing, but like the dancing, a lot of people don't like that. The kind of stuff is on social media, the kind of like used to be big into like the memes and the vines and stuff like that. I was like, all right, that's fine. He launched his own clothing brand. It's like, oh, come on, man. You're not big enough for that. That's like, stay in your lane, man. You're not Ronaldo.
Like remember the Dan Sturridge caps as well, similar thing.
Yeah, like when someone does that, you have to be like banging in goals for like 10 seasons in a row to start pulling shit like that. Like his level of insufferable things he was doing for like, he's a good player. He scored big goals tonight, but he just wasn't doing enough to get away with the stuff he was doing.
Yeah.
Like, even I saw on Twitter the last day, he had some kind of one of those vague inspirational tweets. It was like, it's not who you are, it's who you become, or some shit down like a him point. I was like, just every insufferable move he does, every annoying thing that a footballer does, he's done them all. And it's like, you're not scoring enough for that.
Do you think he sets out to just wind you up specifically?
At this point? But yeah, again, like everything in the book, it's not just one vein of thing. It's like he does the dance a bit, his inspirational quotes. He launches his clothing line and he goes, I haven't got enough chances. People are giving me a chance. Like, everyone knows who you are. You're not that good. I mean, you're getting paid $100,000 a week to play at West Ham. That was the one thing about the West Ham game. The other thing was Doherty was the one who gave the goal away, unfortunately. He came on, immediately gave the ball away, and immediately Jay Lings went down and started dancing. And I was just like, oh, fuck, Doherty can't get a break.
Yeah. I don't think Jose is the man for him.
No, I mean, to be fair, you can't do that. It's like, yeah, I'm kind of Jose's side a little bit.
Yeah, but again, it's that thing of, it seems like Jose's teams make mistakes. Probably because before they come on, he like grabs them and is like, if you make a mistake, I'm going to kill you. Shows
them a picture of their family and kicks at them. But that's the thing, like the first goal that they conceded, Antonio, I think it was, like a real sloppy goal. For a team that like pride themselves on their no-nonsense defense.
Have the players for the way he tries to play. Like Dyer and Sanchez are not those boys.
No, very sloppy goal to give away. Like when you're not creating much, you have to at least not let those goals go in.
And then his voice is echoing around your head, being like he's going to kneecap you if you lose.
And did you see Gareth Bale coming on?
Oh, he had a great game, I thought.
Yeah, and an annoyingly good game for Spurs, I would imagine. Because he came on first and was doing his classic, just kind of sauntering around. I don't really give a fuck. I'm too big for this club. And then the linesman called a ball that was clearly a Tottenham ball. Jess Lingard knocked it away. It was clearly and he got really mad at that.
Yeah.
He started like pointing at the lines. I was like, fucking hell, relax, Bill. It's just a throw in. And then he went into I'll show you mode.
Yeah.
And he actually, something amazing happened. He started to try. He looked like he gave a fuck for a second. Like he would look like the best player on the pitch at times. Like he just was gliding past players on his left and his right, cutting inside. No one could stop any cross he put in. He got the assist for the goal.
He, like you said, it was annoying because it was like, well, why isn't he doing this every week?
Yeah.
I'd say Jose hated that.
Oh, if you're a Spurs fan, I mean, there was so many Bale apologists being like, oh, you know, he's not the same player. We can't expect him to be the same player he was 7 years ago or even a year ago. It's like, why? And this just proved he was just not trying. He was not bothered.
Yeah.
Oh, like when he came, I mean, they weren't in the title race, but they were still about fifth or fourth. Like they could have made a push Champions League if he'd come in and
gotten a few goals. Yeah.
Like they're ninth now. It's way too late.
Yeah.
I mean, you have to be raging.
Yeah, definitely. Did you see what Mourinho said after the game?
No, I didn't catch that.
Oh, he had a great interview. Lost the head once again.
Oh, not like Jose.
Yeah, unlike him. He said, what was the quote? He said he has no issues with how the reason the team is like not playing well is not his fault.
I hope he said it like that, like you just said it. He's like, well, the thing is, well, look, it's not my fault.
He said him and his coaching staff's methods are second to none in the world. You're ninth to one.
Well, let me do the math there. If it's not Jose's fault or his team's fault, who's left? Oh, the players. It's the players' fault.
Shockingly, it's never him.
Yes, a real players manager, that guy.
I can't see him lasting the season. I think that'll get nasty after a while.
Yeah, I mean, it's it never does though, Mourinho. It always ends this way. Like it literally always ends this way.
Not this quick. Normally, he gets one season where you're like, oh, this isn't so bad. It's kind of and then, but he went straight to it this time.
Yeah, he just got sick of it very early on.
Yeah.
But they were top of the league at one stage, which seems like
they were top of the league in December.
It seems like years ago now.
It feels like there was 50 games played.
Yeah, that was the West Ham Tottenham game. Tottenham, like we say, fall further away from even Europa League at this stage. I think would be a big push. They are in the cup finals.
They could win the Europa League though. Yeah,
they could win the Europa League or the cup final against City. That would be their way into it. For West Ham, they're looking at the Champions League.
It's crazy.
like I said, they were playing well to keep winning. They could definitely do it. The other Champions League hopeful, Leicester, had a big win against Aston Villa. Not a big win, but 2-1. Maddison and Barnes with the goals, which to the delight of many fancy managers around the country for them.
Including the Aston Villa backroom staff.
Including the backroom staff who didn't, like a lot of players, get stung with Jack Grealish because they had some inside information. For anybody who doesn't know, great story that Aston Villa players and managers, not managers, but backroom staff, subbed out Jack Grealish before the game week started because they knew he was injured. And then I guess people who knew them personally or were in the same league with them or whatever subbed out Jack Grealish, and the news spread that he was injured before the game, which is bizarre, really. To that you think that, because we had this conversation years ago, like, you think that players play fantasy football. I think we came to the conclusion, like, no, they're not losers like us. I mean, they have lives.
They make so much money. Why are they bothered?
Yeah, but and then I thought, well, now they can't go get tattoos and haircuts.
That's true.
And hang out with Instagram models on yachts. They're down to our level. They're pouring over entry tables, looking at who's playing this week. It is pretty funny though, because like you don't want that information getting out, because like you can then plan your entire game plan, and they did. I mean,
especially with Grealish, like he's the focal point.
Your main player. But yeah, Leicester won that game. Villa, they are a different team without him. I mean, that it is like, you know, he's getting a lot of hype this year, and people, you kind of think, oh, well, it's easy to play for Villa when there's not much expectation, and you know, you can lose a game unknown, kind of whatever. But like they did. Now, obviously, Leicester knew he wasn't going to be playing. They had a game plan maybe around that. But I mean, at that same stage, they looked kind of really lacking something without him. So that's probably the biggest compliment he can pay to Jack Grealish.
He was going to leave last season if they got relegated. But remember, they stayed up because of the phantom goal against, was it Sheffield or something, where the ball went over the line but it was blocked.
Oh yeah.
So the ref's watch didn't go off. So it's mad that like he could be playing for like United or Chelsea or someone now, but now he's kind of trapped at his boyhood club that he loves.
Well, the only thing is, I mean, sometimes be careful what you wish for, because he was linked with Tottenham, so he could be playing for Jose Mourinho. Well, he could not be playing for Jose Mourinho right now.
Yeah, he'd be on the bench. There's no way. Someone who like tries so much things, no way.
Yeah. So maybe he's better off. So yeah, Leicester, I think probably have that. It'll probably be City, United, Leicester in that top three. I'd imagine.
Spin the wheel for the fourth team.
Spin the wheel for the fourth team. Who was going for that fourth spot? I suppose Chelsea, West Ham. Chelsea had a disappointing draw against Southampton. Did you see that game?
Yeah. Whenever now teams drop points to Southampton, I'm always like, United beat them 9-0.
Yeah.
Are you losing to them?
Yeah, it's like, fuck, you couldn't beat Southampton. They always leak goals. I mean, but that, when I hope now that Timo Werner, friend of the show, isn't worried about that. Don't you be thinking about that, Timo, right? You just play your own game, okay?
Yeah, get it out of your head, man. Did you see what he said about the Premier League? He was like, yeah, to be honest, it's harder than I thought. I think nearly the direct quote was like, all the players are like 6'5" and very fast and very strong.
They're definitely not, but in Timo Werner's world right now, everybody seems like he feels like he's playing the monsters.
I was going to say, like shadows over him. He's like looking up at everyone.
You can't get a sniff. It's like, what, is it just me who's ever 6'5" and faster than me? It's like, they're definitely not.
You're talking about Bednarek.
Are you talking about Dan Byrne? Yeah, another bad shooting night for old Timo. Definitely lacked some. I still don't think they know what the rest team is. Chelsea playing a lot of different formations. They had Tammy Abraham and Timo Werner. Timo Werner was kind of on the wing a bit. Mason Mount played about 6 different positions. They're
still missing Ziyech as well. He's been out for a while, I think, and he was good when he was playing regularly. Like
Ziyech is out as well. And you saw the Hudson-Odoi thing, did you?
Yeah, that's no good. He's finished.
You know, he said he wasn't, but it's definitely like probably the worst things that can happen to you as a footballer.
Especially with a new manager, like a manager's in a few weeks.
Oh, yeah, the new boss comes in, brings you on, and then says, get off.
Well, I mean, imagine if a new boss did that to you in work, where you're like, could you come in early today? And you come in after 10 minutes, they're like, Actually, Mick, go home.
You know what? Take the rest of the day. I'm actually no. I just don't like your. What do you say? I don't like your attitude. I don't like the cut of your jib, Hudson-Odoi. Yeah, I was not happy with the energy and with the attitude on the counter press, so we decided to take him off.
He's finished.
So we decided to take him off as we demand a lot. Oh.
Could you imagine if Lampard did that? He'd be slated.
Yeah. Well, honestly, it's a brave move because with the history of
Jose did that.
Yeah. Well, it feels like a Jose move, but I mean, with the history of player power at Chelsea, I mean, it could be a very dangerous move for Tuchel. I mean, he might start losing adjustment. I don't know how liked Hudson-Odoi is, but this could be a bad move for him. He came out.
This is it.
He got I think it's him or Hudson-Odoi at this point, isn't it? Jesus.
Well, yeah, because it seems like that's the type of move, and as a new manager, you'd be like, okay, I'm still kind of towing the line here.
Yeah.
Get to know everyone. Next season's when I'll start doing these type of things. But
yeah,
that seems like a worrying start. Like already, like fuck these lads.
Yeah, he came out and said that, hey, it's all good. We're all friends again. He had a good attitude. We're all best friends again. Which, I guess you have to. That's like, oh, well, Hudson-Odoi is making it worse himself. He's sulking around. I can hear him talk. I know he's talking about me. I can see him in the dressing room. I know he's talking about me. So keep it up. See what happens. I'm the manager.
Hey, warm up. You might come on for 2 minutes.
Or just have him warm up and just never put him on. Yeah, just, opportunity never rose.
Get your kit on.
All right, warm down. You didn't play. But I've been warming up for 20 minutes. Didn't play. Warm down.
That is worrying, though, because the last two clubs Tuchel was at, he kind of burnt out. Like PSG got sacked when he was doing well because he fell out with the board.
Yeah.
I think Dortmund was the same. So at Chelsea, the team where the players stop playing for the manager and the board doesn't like the manager, I don't think he's going to last very long, no matter what he does.
Yeah.
He's going to do one thing wrong at some stage and that'll be it.
No, maybe we're kind of blowing out of proportion, but it was weird. You don't see it often. And
no. The last one I remember was Duncan Ferguson pulling Moise Keane last year after 10 minutes of being on the
bench. And now he's at PSG looking like Ronaldo.
Who's now ripping it up.
Playing that left wing like he's Cristiano Ronaldo.
On loan as well.
Yeah. So, don't worry, Hudson-Odoi. Things might, you never know where life might take you. So, yeah, Chelsea dropped 2 points there. West Ham go further ahead for that race top four. Southampton just glad they didn't concede 9 goals. Did you see that Twitter page actually said, did they mention the 9-0 yet? And then it happened again. There's like, have they mentioned either of the 9-0 yet? Oh God!
How can you lose 9-0 twice?
The same manager. He's still there. Outrageous. Surely
after the first one, he was like, "This will never."
Oh, I very hoped, but who knows?
He said after the United game, I know we're kind of talking about old news now, but he said after that United game, he was like, well, this 9-0 wasn't as bad as the first one because the first one we were just bad. What are we talking about?
Oh, that's just like when you're trying to rationalize things in your head or to make yourself feel better. It's like, look, I mean, things aren't that bad, Remember that time when things, it's like, no, well, that doesn't make any difference. Well, fuck, it's not as bad as the time when
he looks up and there's no press conference, like everyone's gone, and he's like,
no one's listening to him. The other, I suppose, top of the table clash, not top of the table clash, but United top table. Oh, that was a terrible intro, that bit. But United played Newcastle and they won 3-1.
Yeah, Dan James having an unbelievable few games there.
The much maligned Dan James. People hate that man.
As the game was on, I was like, why is Dan James playing against like a team in a low block? This makes no sense. And then he scored and it's like, oh, he's playing really well.
Yeah, no, he was very happy to score too. You could see he reads all those tweets.
Oh yeah, sure, he's young, like he's fucking. And I thought Newcastle were all over United for most of the game, weirdly.
Yeah, United did not play well. Not the best game for Martial. I mean,
I think he's done, for me anyway. I've kind of have no faith in him at all anymore. Where it used to be like, he has good games, bad games. Now it just seems like all bad games.
Yeah. I don't think he likes playing up front. I think he more kind of likes to come in from the wing.
But like, we have 10 million lads that come in from the wing. That's not what we need.
Yeah. It is like the new number 10. I remember wanting to play number 10 there for a while. I like to play in the pocket, not really marked by anybody, but score goals and assists. That's kind of where I want to play. Like the left foot, like coming in for the wing now, like, I want to like be on the wing, but not track back, just kind of score goals. That's kind of my thing.
I want to play on the wing, but also drift in constantly, so I'm never on the wing.
Take up all the space in the middle, not track back, be on the wing, score goals.
I want to play centre forward, but not be marked by the big centre back.
Yeah, essentially. That's essentially it. Like, I mean, no wonder he looks good there. That does bring us to your little prediction of Newcastle too big to go down. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt.
I don't like how you said little prediction.
Well, I was pretty condescending, but I mean, I was going to say I was going to give you the benefit of the doubt to say you didn't know how long Wilson is going to be out for. Apparently, he's a long-term absence for Newcastle. So,
and good news for Newcastle fans: Joe Linton is also now out for a few weeks. Probably.
Yeah, some good news for the Toon faithful. Sam Maxwell looked good, but he's not going to do it on his own.
He looked unbelievable. I thought, no, he looked great though. He surely is gone in the summer, whether Newcastle stay up or go down. He seems way too good for him. Yeah,
you'd imagine he'll go somewhere, and Newcastle will be. If they go down, I think he'll definitely go.
Yeah.
So United continue fighting for this title. I suppose
10 points behind. I don't know.
10 points behind.
This is my least favourite place to be in the league, of just being like, it's done. Like, you're not going to win, but
yeah,
you're not going to do badly. So
it looks unlikely at this point, but I mean, they are the closest ones to the city, so I guess technically they're still in the fight. But
I mean, like 10 points isn't like it's not impossible, but I think with the way City are playing, it probably is a bit impossible.
Plus the games they have left, I think they play United, they play Everton, and they play Chelsea. I think are the ones I saw that they might drop points, but that they have to lose all those games, and even then they'd still be a point ahead. So I mean,
and United have to win all of the games.
Yeah. Have to go unbeaten. Well, not unbeaten. Win every single game for this season to be within 1 point. To put City under pressure, they have to win every single game. So I don't know. I don't see that happening. Because I mean, did you see the Arsenal game?
I did. I thought.
Oh,
I didn't envy you.
Oh, that was the most humiliating 1-0 I think I've ever seen. Like before the game, they come out. And they kind of zoom in on De Bruyne, or zoom in on De Bruyne.
With a big smile.
He's literally laughing to himself before, like he's literally just chuckling to himself, like now maybe he was thinking of something else funny. Maybe he wasn't laughing directly in the faces of the Arsenal players before he played them.
Do you think he was listening to episode 1 of the pod?
He'd probably think about some of the funny bits from episode 1 of the pod. Or he was probably thinking of other times he played Arsenal and it was very, very easy. He thought, oh yeah, that was funny. This will be equally as funny. And then the 30 seconds in, not even, Sterling has a chance and kind of fluffs a little bit.
You knew straight away. It's like, this is there's nothing for Arsenal in this game.
He started laughing. Now he's laughing at Arsenal in their face. Because he knew, like, wow, that was easy. That was really easy to get that chance immediately. He's like, this is going to be a great game. And then a minute later, he does. He soars into the air. 5'7" Sterling jumps between the two backs and just knocks it in. I've never seen him score a goal like that. Just leaping into the air on challenge and knocking it in.
He's doing like flips and stuff in there.
Oh my God. And from that point, it was like when you're playing like your little cousin. It's like you score that first goal and you just see he's like devastated. Like, all right, well, I'm not going to go beating him 10-0 here. I'll just, knock the ball around for a bit, be grand. If he scores a goal, I'll hammer him at the ground and let him know who I am. But other than that, I can just kind of mess around with him and let him have the ball a bit. And it was just, Arsenal never threatened. City just were in total control.
Do you think at half-time, Arsenal were like in the dressing room and all they could hear was just loads of laughing from the other?
Yeah, I tell you, like, And then the Sky commentary team were like, gee, Arsenal are trying to get into this game. I mean, City better be careful. They'll let Arsenal get back into it. It's like, no, they're not. No, they're not. Arsenal never came close. Like, it was just, to be fair, I mean, Aubameyang, who did nothing in the game, towards the end, he did start to get, a little bit of space up that wing, and they immediately were like doubling him and tripling him.
Yeah.
Like, so I mean, that is good coaching, and they are a well-run team, but they were never in danger, never in real danger.
No, from the minute one, like Arsenal could have left the pitch and it would have been just pass it around, or City could have left the pitch even.
Yeah, like it was that bad. I mean, fucking Arteta coming up. I mean, I like to think Arteta was antagonizing over the perfect turtleneck overcoat combination when he faced his style sensei Pep.
He faced his dad.
Yeah, Pep just comes with like a fashion judo throw, has like a grey hoodie, open arms. It's like, oh, this is just it's an NGO for migrants at sea. People who have nothing, Miguel. Nowhere to go. Being war and persecution.
Nice turtleneck. Did I get you that last year?
Yeah, that's nice. Nice to have nice things, Miguel, isn't it? Anyways, best luck to the game.
Yeah, see you out there.
Yeah. You can just see Arteta like, oh, he's done me again. Like, I thought I had him beat this time on the fashion front at least.
But like, you'd forget as well that Pep pretty much taught Arteta everything he knows, which means when he plays him, he's going to be like, I know exactly what he's going to do.
What else? What other games we have in the league? Burnley, West Brom, and a classic 0-0. Well, a good point for Burnley, and not so good point for West Brom. You kind of need wins at that end of the table. A crazy handball. Did you see the handball?
No, I actually didn't.
I think it was the centre back, Ajayi, like 30 minutes in. Kind of the ball gets knocked around him. I just like remember Henry when he stuck out the hand?
Do I remember Henry?
well, I think we all remember, but I mean, it was exactly like that. Like the ball just kind of went past him and just kind of cheekily slapped it in the middle of the pitch, literally in the middle of the pitch. And he was last man back, and Vigil was going to be in on goal. There's maybe a question of would Maitland-Niles get back to him, but like it was very, very blatant, and he just got sent off. Like straight red.
It's embarrassing, isn't it? To be getting sent off from a handball in the middle of the pitch.
In the middle of the pitch. It was so funny. But I mean, Big Sam teams know how to defend, and they kept it to a 0-0.
I feel like before that game, you could have, I think that's the easiest to predict scoreline of the league.
Yeah. I mean, it does have a 0-0 written all over it.
It's just the 11 players of Burnley sitting in their box and West Brom's 11 players sitting in their box waiting.
Oh, yeah, no, it was a dire watch. But after watching Burnley last week playing like fucking Barcelona, I thought they're definitely going to open a can of whoop ass on West Brom now. But like, no, just a dire game. The other relegation battlers, the other 6-pointer, Fulham, Sheffield. Fulham with a massive win. That really, I think, puts an end to any hope that Sheffield probably had.
Yeah, unfortunately.
Brings Fulham closer to getting over Newcastle and putting them down.
Did you see what the Sheffield manager was saying? I don't know I think it was this week.
Yeah.
He was saying at least next year he won't have to deal with VAR anymore because he'll be in the Championship. But like, you're going to be in the Championship. I don't think your fans are going to be too happy to hear that.
Yeah, I mean, you can't blame VAR. I mean, you haven't been very good.
You've been shy.
Yeah, you can't. It's not like you're lost out on the last day of the season and there was, the season's still ongoing and you're still shy. You just lost to Fulham, the other shittest team in the league. So I mean, come on.
And it's not like as if they're the only team getting bad VAR calls. Like that's literally the story of the season.
Yeah, I mean, it's a pretty weak one now, to be fair, from Sheffield. Josh Maja has leaving himself a mountain to climb if he wants to reach my 12-goal target that I set for him. Now look, Josh, if you're listening, I know you are.
Yeah, it is.
Don't worry about that, really. Right? Just you play your own game. It's a target I've set for you, and I would be delighted if you reached it. It would be a no nonsense exclusive to get a prediction that bang on. But they do have some good players for them. Like joking aside, they do actually some decent players. Aine is very good.
Parker's not bad either. Like he's a good manager, I think.
Parker's decent. He was really happy when that final whistle read. There was like a real relief, a roar at the end, a real roar of relief. Like yes, fuck.
Was that Scott Parker?
Yeah, people like miles away can hear Scott Parker in an empty stadium.
The crows fucking flying from the stadium.
He's had so many interviews, I feel, this year as well. It's constantly interviewing Scott Parker talking about how well we're going to stay up, and no one believes him but himself. I also know as well Ramsdale for Sheffield. If he goes down, he'll have that cursed honour of being on a consecutive relegated side.
As a goalkeeper.
As a goalkeeper, yeah.
Like the person who stops the goals.
Yeah, I mean, hard for your agent to get you moved in with that in your resume.
And he was good. I feel like he's good at Bournemouth. I think he's all right at Sheffield too, but it's just like, you're at the wrong team. You're getting pumped every week. Like,
yeah, it's not look good for him. So yeah, Fulham getting closer. Sheffield is probably down at this point. What else do we have? Oh yeah, Wolves Leeds. That was a good game.
As always, the old Leeds classic.
Yeah. They were unlucky, to be fair to Leeds. Like, it was an unbelievable. It was almost an unbelievable goal from Traore.
Yeah.
Hit like the right top corner and then turned into one of those own goals where you just can't help but feel sorry for Meslier, where it bounces off his arse and goes in.
Yeah, could you imagine? Did you have him in fantasy? Could you imagine having him in fantasy?
Oh man,
that'd be a bad one.
That's a tough one to take. And you probably would have got him too for the double game week. And there's probably plenty of people who have him.
Definitely, 100%. I captained Bamford. Big mistake.
Yeah, same myself. So he plays again Wednesday. And if they win that, Leeds go back above Wolves. If they win that Wednesday, and Arsenal back in the top half. That's probably both those teams' goal, I would say, finishing the top half this season.
Yeah.
They're a bit far off the Europa League. And
isn't it more money? The higher, like, each position is more money, I think. So
yeah,
that's what they're after now. Like,
I think it's a couple million more for each position. So I mean, Leeds be happy enough coming up and getting top half. That'd be a pretty good season for them.
Great season. And Wolves as well, like with fucking Jimenez injury, like that's fair enough.
Yeah. I mean, I forgot that they had Raul Jimenez. He got a head split open. Is he all right? Actually, I wonder, because he like his head like properly split open. I saw him in the stand there. He like stitch it down inside his head.
The manager, what's his name? The Wolves manager?
Oh, Morpheus.
Morpheus, yeah. Morpheus was saying that it's not a matter of if he'll be back, but when. So he seems to think he'll be back.
That does sound like something Morpheus would say.
Yeah, and he was wearing a trench coat and he had the sunglasses.
Take the red pill, Jimenez. Get your head split open. You'll see the real world. You'll see the things you've never seen before. Oh, man. The last game then, I think, was probably the game of the round. Cahill's game of the round, Brighton Crystal Palace.
Oh, new segment.
New segment debuting today. Game of the round goes to Brighton Crystal Palace.
The is it M23 derby or something like that?
Yeah, they kept saying that big for the fans is a derby. I was like, I thought Brighton was by the coast. I was like, what the fuck are they talking about?
It's something to do with the motorway.
Yeah, that must be able to say more. It must be like.
But like, aren't most clubs?
I think they're close. Like, I think like they're an hour away, and like Palace are in London and Brighton are by the coast. But I think they're connected by a motorway. So I don't know. Maybe they got a lot of blow-ins into Brighton from Crystal Palace. I have no idea.
That feels like Brighton kind of latching on to, Palace. We hate them, and Palace are like, we're in the same place as Arsenal and Fulham and fucking Chelsea.
I'd never heard this derby before, and I'm not the most informed person ever, but like. It was news to me.
I know it from Football Manager because I had a stint at Crystal Palace.
How did that go? How did the fans treat you?
I was there for 2 years. Got them finished 5th, and then I left halfway through the second season to go back to the Ireland job.
Oh yeah.
Big mistake.
Never go back. Never go back.
Never go back.
But yeah, that was a really good game. As I mentioned previous, Dan Burn is really fun to watch. Marauding coming down that wing. All 6'7" of them.
What about Benteke is still scoring goals in 2021?
I was saying Dan Burn had a good game, but Dan Burn was definitely at fault for that goal.
Yeah.
He got back, and then the ball was played kind of speculatively over his head by Townsend. He lost the sight of the ball in the air, and at the last second, inexplicably takes a half step to his right, which leaves the goal wide open for Benteke to just smash it in. I mean, I think stat of the week, another segment of mine, another official segment of mine. It's usually for kind of obscure stats. Sometimes I don't even make it because there's not any good ones that I see.
You should have heard how many stats of the week there were left on the cutting room floor last week.
I tell you, but this game had lots of them. Like some of that, not because they were mentioned on Sky, it's not really obscure, but 2 touches in the opposition box for Crystal Palace. 2 goals.
That is mental.
That'd be a hard beat. That'd be a hard stat of the week beat. I mean, that's insane. They had 25 attempts on goal, Brighton did, and Crystal Palace had 2 touches in the opposition box, and 2 goals. I mean, for Brighton, that was a must-win game as well. Like that was a game, like at the Crystal Palace side who were not going well, couldn't win without Zaha.
Even a draw would have done nicely. Like
even a draw they would prefer that than losing the last second. That's one of those real,
as teams mostly do.
Yeah, I mean that's what really takes the wind out of your sails if you're Brighton. I mean that's a tough one to take. If you bad for them, they are a good team as well. They got some decent players, but they are a bit toothless up front, which the 25 attempts would indicate they need someone to start banging those goals from.
The M23 is blue and red this week.
Yeah. You can't. Brighton fans can't drive the M23. They can't drive down the M23 this week. For shame.
You got so excited.
I just couldn't finish it. I was like, I have no idea what the M23 even looks like. I guess
is it a motorway?
It's just some kind of motorway in England somewhere. That was a good game though. It was good to watch. And yeah, Benteke back in the goal, and our man Mateta, the January signing from Mainz in Germany.
Yeah,
he's
got a great goal.
It's a great goal too. One of the other touches in the opposition box for Crystal Palace. Yeah, that was. I think Palace are probably safe now. That was a huge win for them.
Sure.
Brighton are probably relying on Newcastle to be or continue to be bad to stay up, I would say. Hopefully Fulham don't catch them too.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good last end of the season for the bottom of the table. It'll be close.
Yeah,
probably way more interesting than the fucking top of the table.
Definitely more interesting than the top. I think Man City are going to walk this. Man City now, the only thing that might stop them is if they try and get too clever and try and rest people for Champions League or like say they want we can do the quadruple, which they started to mention again.
I was going to say, never mention the quadruple.
I mean,
it feels like every year City are in talks for winning the quadruple or being invincible, and it's always just fizzles out.
That is the fucking mother and father of commentator's curse. Once you mention the quadruple, they will lose both cup games like a week after each other and get knocked out of Champions League and just win the league. So yeah, that was the Prem action.
Mm-hmm.
As you are for the most part, really. I don't think there's been much change in it.
No.
Like I say, the top 4 still hasn't really taken shape. I think it's Chelsea, West Ham, Everton, and Liverpool still fighting for it. West Ham and Chelsea being the favourites. And this is also a time when you get into the permutations of the cup and stuff. It's like if City win, then the Europa League spot goes down to 6th. After when they have the cup, we go down to 7th.
Look forward to seeing who will be the first team to have the embarrassment of having to play in the Europa League 2 next year. I think it's whoever comes 8th gets it.
8th? Oh.
It's 7th or 8th, but that'd be so shit. Unless you're West Ham, I suppose. That'd be fine. It's European football, I guess.
Yeah. I don't know. It might be better for them to have, Europa League is a big step up. Like we were saying last week, it's a big step up without the same prestige of winning, the Champions League, but you're still taxed the same amount and you have less time to recover. It's almost like a punishment. But
it'll be interesting next year because if Tottenham and Arsenal don't get Europa League, that means they have a clear run at trying to get top 4. Well, they should do so surely that'd help them next year, and then league would go all topsy-turvy again.
No, hopefully that there's a bit more competition next year and then so you don't just walk it. Remember when it was I think Tottenham, Leicester, Liverpool, United and City were all at the top of the league at one stage this season.
Yeah.
That doesn't seem like the same season. City have been so dominant the last while. It's that was not this season, but it was it was so open and anybody could win it. And then
remember Liverpool and Spurs had the game to decide the league, and Liverpool won it in the last minute.
Oh yeah, this year.
Yeah,
it was this year. Fucking hell, yeah.
It was in November, I think. That was the last game Liverpool did well in, I think.
And then City won 15 games in a row. I was they're not going to win.
Yeah. 18, I think now.
Ridiculous. Well, speaking of Premier League and Champions League and stuff like that, Premier League clubs are no longer able to escape UK quarantine after travelling abroad, apparently. So that means that they have to quarantine for 10 days after going to a Champions League game or Europa League, travelling to Europe. But they can still train and play matches.
No change.
So no change. And apparently if they don't test positive or they don't show any symptoms, it goes down to 5 days. Which, I don't know.
Carl, if you go on holidays, have to quarantine.
Okay, done.
But you're still allowed to do all of the things you usually do. Is that okay?
Like, can I go to the pub?
Yeah, absolutely. If it's open, yeah.
Well, the pub is closed and the shops are closed. So I can go to work though.
You can go to work. You can also. Do you play any games?
No, everything's closed. Everything's shut. So what you're saying is I can go abroad and I can come back. I can't do anything because it's closed, except for the thing I could always do, which is go to work.
The thing that makes money, yes, you can do that.
Yeah. Okay, so that's no news then. No, nothing has changed.
If you don't feel sick, just go earlier.
Oh, if I'm not showing symptoms, I can just forget the whole thing.
Yeah, who cares?
Okay, great.
You're not sick.
Like, I know this is like the UK government has come under pressure to try and take that away from them, but like it really means nothing. Because like I say, like all the stuff they usually do, like getting haircuts and tattoos and hanging out with Instagram models, they can't do that now anyway. So I mean, they're still just doing. I don't know. It's kind of a nothing story, but it's
hopefully this is the era of bad Premier League haircuts. That'd be good if like everyone's hair started getting all bushy and.
Yeah, although they do seem to have a pretty fresh phase. I'd say they're probably just getting barbers coming to the house. I think it's still against the rules, but I mean, what are you going to do?
But Joe Linton got a fine because he took a selfie of him in like a barber's chair getting a fucking high top fade.
Well, that's more a fine for stupidity. It's like, come on, man. You can't be doing that. You can't be bragging about it.
When you're not scoring goals, you can't be getting haircuts.
Yeah, it's the Jesse Lingard to tomfoolery continuum. It's like there's a level of what you're allowed to get away with if you're good.
Pogba can get a haircut, but Joe Linton can't get a haircut.
Yeah, I mean, like people are like when Pogba had that blue hair against City, people are like, this is outrageous. This is disrespectful. But then he scored 2 goals to win, and people are like, it's okay. Yeah. Who cares?
Who cares? Just a haircut.
If he hadn't scored, it might be the end of it. But like when you score, it's like, well, that's what you're paid to do. So everything else is secondary. It's just money though, because like for Sky, if you paid $5 billion to show games, you don't care what's happening. You're playing those games. We've paid $5 billion for this. We need those games to happen. Like you can't just like, oh, we can't play. It's like, yes, you can. You will play them. And it just comes down to money. Like, there's that much money on the table. Like you'd be surprised what can get done. You know, speaking of money and all that stuff, fans, the UK love doing this, love bringing fans back to the stadium too early. They're going to do it again. 10,000 back in the stadium by April. Or no, sorry, by May 22nd.
When was the last time you saw 10,000 people in the same place?
Only in movies. Yeah. I think they're trying to ease it back in. They're going to start with the Wembley final, and then they're going to bring it back up, hopefully for the Euros, which I can't believe is still going ahead.
That's insane. There's like, especially a year later, just cancel the fucking thing.
I think they've been jabbing people with injections over there, vaccines at a ungodly rate. So I think they're probably confident enough that by June they'll have every safe.
See, as well, we're looking at this from being in Ireland, where it's totally different at the moment. Like there is nothing happening here, and there won't be forever. It feels like. Yeah,
fucking 9 more weeks. Just fucking kill me now. Yeah.
Good for the pod, though.
Yeah, I guess so, yeah. So yeah, fans are hopefully returning back into stadiums, which, I mean, they are getting a lot better at the fake crowd noises. The guy working the keys there, the ones and twos on the crowd noises, he's getting a lot better, but it would be nice to see some actual...
You think it's the one man doing all of the football?
I like to think it is. Like, think it's a man surrounded by screens 15 different buttons, and he's just like
there's screens all around him of football everywhere he looks, and he's
all the games at once. Yeah. He's like that movie Sliver. There was that movie with the
well, I remember at the start, like I think we talked last week about when the Bundesliga came back, And like everyone was watching that. But remember how bad the crowd noises was at first? Everything was like 2 minutes delayed because the guy was figuring out the buttons and when to do what. And then now it's like the crowd reacts probably like they'll, if there's a counter, they'll get louder and as there's a break and stuff like that. Like,
yeah, I don't know. Maybe they're showing on a delay and they're doing it that way, but it's doing a lot better. It's a lot more like in time with it.
There is times where you'd forget there's no crowd.
Yeah. Yeah, like because they have all the seats covered over with banners and stuff, so you kind of forget that it's empty seats, and then there's like decent crowd noise. But then it's like when the games have to ramping up, and that's when the noise should be getting really, and it's like it's the same, and that takes you out. We're like, oh yeah, there's no one there.
I wonder
it's all in my head.
I wonder when fans come back, how nervy the players will be. Like all of a sudden, say fucking Tottenham or Arsenal, now if they're doing bad. Now they're getting booed. That hasn't happened in a long time.
Well, interestingly, they were hoping to have them back on the last day of the season. So when they have the first back in.
Imagine the relegation battle. Oh,
man. Can you imagine the first game you get to see all season is your team getting relegated?
It wouldn't go. Imagine being a Sheffield fan. I wouldn't bother.
I'd be too nervous. Oh, fuck. A packed St. James's Park. Devastated. Devastated.
It's the hope, the extra hope that kills you.
What other news do we have? There was a good article with Sid Lowe in The Guardian with Filipe Luiz, the Brazilian left back, formerly of Atletico and briefly of Chelsea. Do you want to know what the best thing I'd seen in my life was for Filipe Luiz?
Well, let me think. The best thing he's had in his life.
I guess some of the kind of moments that stand out for you in Filipe Luiz.
Won a lot of trophies with both.
Yeah.
I think he's won trophies at Chelsea as well. Definitely won lots of things at Atletico. Probably one of
those.
Won
the Europa Leagues.
Won the Europa League, yeah.
Won the league, yeah. Won the league at Chelsea as well.
He's Brazilian, isn't he? Surely had some good times there.
He won the Copa Libertadores with Brazil in the Maracanã. That must have been electric.
That's like the dream. So probably one of those, I would say.
You might think that, but no, it was meeting Michael Caine at the premiere for Interstellar.
Does he know that he could probably do that without being like a footballer?
Well, it was interesting because Cesc Fabregas invited him. It was him, Cesc Fabregas, Henri, and Stephen Hawking.
What?
Yeah, they were all in the same like little booth to watch the.
They were all on the town.
I don't know. From the article, it sounds like he didn't even meet him. He was just near him, and he said it was the best thing that ever happened to him.
Do you think maybe he was just watching him on a screen and he couldn't? He was in the movie.
Well, apparently he loves film, and he loved big Christopher Nolan fan. A real hipster, Filipe Luiz. Loves film.
Why was Fabregas invited then and not Filipe Luiz?
Fabregas is a big man out of town in London, apparently. Well connected. Got him tickets. He got the hookup.
Embarrassing, isn't it? Isn't Filipe Luiz a big player? And he's like, come here, I'll sort you out. Sort yourself out.
He seems like a pretty chill dude for the most part. I mean, the article definitely paints him that way. I would have to probably see the interview, and I don't know if he's speaking English or Portuguese, but he seemed all right. He seemed like he didn't care too much about football at times, but then other times he was talking about he loves cinema and all of that stuff. But then he was like talking about Mourinho at Chelsea, and he wasn't playing much. They're playing Azpilicueta left back instead of him, and he said he went in after the first game and said, "Why did you bring me here from Atletico? Like, you're not playing. What the fuck?" And he was like, "You have to earn your place in my team." He was like, "All right, fair enough." And he's kind of looking back saying, "Yeah, I don't hold anything against him. I think he just did what he had to do for the team." But then at the end, he says, "And as I was leaving, I sent a text to his boss and said, 'I'm leaving and thank you for bringing me to the club.'" It was, you want Marina Granovskaya?
Yeah.
The one that Lampard fell out with. She does a lot of the signs and stuff. She's kind of oversees that. So she brought Filipe Luiz to the club. He texted her and said, "I'm not staying because of Mourinho. Thank you for bringing me to the club and believing in me." Like in the same breath going, "But I didn't hold anything against Mourinho." I was like,
"It's nothing against him. I just tried to get him sacked."
I just texted his boss and said, "I'm leaving because of this man." But
Carl, I have no problem with you.
Yeah.
I did text your boss saying I hope you get fired.
So it doesn't like he does hold someone against him.
It feels like he was a lot. Maybe Mourinho was who was doling out the tickets to the Interstellar premiere.
Yeah. Yeah, he says, I'm sorry I couldn't show you my best, but thank you for believing me. I didn't want to work for Mourinho another year.
I couldn't possibly.
All the best,
but
Felipe. Lots of love.
But Mourinho, great guy. Love him. Good stuff.
Yeah. That was kind of all. No, I didn't see anything else. Did you see anything else that you want to talk about?
Oh, there is one more thing, actually. It's not football related, more pod related.
Go on.
So we uploaded the podcast last, was it? About a week
Saturday?
ago. So that's
Friday?
Saturday, yeah. But the day after uploading our podcast, I got an email from our podcast provider, the host.
Yes, we did, yeah.
Saying that they were after being victim to a massive cyber attack. And
yeah.
They were being held to ransom, and it was the first time in 11 years that the site had gone offline. So,
I mean,
that's what they're saying, but we have our own theories.
We have our own theory. Yeah, I think, anybody listening to this knows how good an episode it was. We had a lot of interest in that first episode.
Yeah, huge.
We think our working theory is that we had so many downloads, so many views in our first episode, it crashed the site.
And they're just making excuses. They don't want to give us the credit.
They can't handle it. They make up this absurd story of being held to ransom like some kind of
as if
terrorists, online terrorists.
No one cares about your podcast service. I hope they're not listening. Do they listen to the podcast? I wonder.
No, fuck no. Not theirs anyways.
I wonder if the cyber attacker is listening.
Yeah, if the cyber attacker is listening,
send in your questions.
Please, we need this. This is really the only thing we have going on right now. So if you could stop with the cyber attacks, please. Like I say, we've got a lot of buzz this first episode.
Double-digit downloads. That's all you have to say.
Double-digit downloads, baby. That's all you need to know. Yeah, it was pretty unfortunate. We're recording this on Tuesday, the 23rd. So I don't know if it will go out pure, not because we're lazy. I want to stress that, not because we're unorganized or we're not trying.
This time we're really doing our best, but we have to upload in between massive cyber attacks.
Yeah, we have to time it just right, while also not letting any of our personal information get out there. We're also contemplating maybe using a different site. We're that nervous over it, but that was that. Of course,
it's what everyone's been waiting for.
It's what everyone's been waiting for. You've probably skipped past the entire rest of it. I understand that.
Through, where is it? Where's the talk of my boys?
We'll stick up a timestamp maybe in the because that's all he cares about. It is. We are alluding, of course, to Bandwagon Wheel. Yeah, okay, settle down, everybody, settle down. We're getting to it. Ghost Step, our team, our boys in Turkey.
Should we give the little background in case this is people's first episode? As if they haven't heard about the bandwagon.
As if they haven't heard. As if they haven't heard. Word on the street hasn't travelled rapidly, even though everyone's inside their house. Word on the street is still a very powerful tool. Yeah, Bandwagon Wheel. We pick a team in a different league every year to be our team to support, like I suppose we did with the Premier League, but just now we're doing with different leagues. This year we picked Turkey and we landed on Ghost Step, and there's a video there on Instagram if you want to see it in all its glory.
What's our Instagram called?
Instagram is at no nonsense pod, no_nonsense_pod, or type in a nonsense podcast. It should come up pretty quick on Instagram as well.
It's the one with the same picture as this Spotify. If you can't figure it out, what else can we do?
The Twitter is the same, isn't it? I know nonsense pod 1. Follow us on the socials. Hit us on the social. But yeah, without further ado, get on to Ghost Step. Big win, huge win for them against Fenerbahce.
Cameraman in. He's turned around. I'm all in.
I mean, look, thing is about Ghost Step, we're a big club.
Huge.
It's what big clubs do.
Ever since those 4 relegations back to back.
I mean, people talk about Besiktas being a big club than us, which, there's some merit to that. But I like to see them go back to back relegation and come back and have a performance like we did against Fenerbahce. That was a huge win for us. Unal Karaman was in bullish form. He went full Big Sam after the game. I don't know if you saw his comments. He said, "We played very rationally. My players fought well. If we had been more careful with the final passes, the result could have been different. I don't remember if Fenerbahce came concisely and created a position," which I think translates roughly to didn't create many chances.
Look, Karaman is, as we know, he is a beacon of personality. He's too hot to handle.
Considering the game and the challenge, we deserved 3 points. We were also saying when we lost the match, we returned a lot of players as good. We just couldn't finish it. We had the strength to win even in the matches we lost. Football, sometimes it is. So he's even now retconning the other games, and we probably could have won them too if we hadn't lost them. Typical Karaman, and that's why we love him.
That's what, look, I always say the same thing as Karaman. Football, it is.
The football that is. That's what we say here. That brings up to 10th in the league.
Smooth sailing here now. Now it's time to rocket up the league.
Well, now we've got our sights set on that Europa League third round qualifier position, I think, which is like 6th.
Off the record, if Guztep get Europa League, you have to stick with them, don't they? Like, we can't be leaving them then. I'm
not sure what the bit is, though. It's the bit that we just pick a team and become super fans, and then we just drop them instantly and become a super fan of somebody else to kind of show the madness of football, that you can just become a fan of a team for no reason, and then just... Because I was thinking that, like, if we do this season, we do Go Step, and then we pick someone from another league, by the, 3 seasons in, we'll be trying to cover like 3 different teams, Europa League games, cup games. Like, we just lose. The entire podcast will just be Bandwagon Wheel. We'll change the name to Bandwagon Wheel Podcast. Like, what the fuck is this show about? And have to introduce every week. So we spin a wheel and we land every week. In 2021 we landed on Gustep. In 2023 we landed on just the whole rundown.
Well, thanks for listening to all 9 hours of the podcast. We'll be back again tomorrow with another 9 hours.
The heavily edited 9 hours of the podcast.
Did you see who? I'm sure you did, but did you see who got the goal for Gustep?
Oh, who else? That man again.
That man, Halil Akbunar.
Akbunar.
Like you said, Carl, when he's on the pitch,
that's his best position. On the pitch is his best position. 7 goals, 8 assists.
9 minutes in, he bangs in a goal. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, look, if we can I want to hold on to him. That's the main thing this year. If we lose Halil, I'll be devastated.
That's what the talk on Twitter is. Everyone's saying, where's that Halil Akbunar going? Halil Akbunar. Look, he's Gustep through and through, I think.
I think he's committed to us. He has a contract, not the longest contract, now I look up, June 30th, 2022. So that could be easily bought out.
So next week, or this Sunday, we play Kasimpasa. Who are 14th, 3 points behind us. So big game.
That is a big game. We win that. We like I say, we go further up that table. And that's the goal. I think Europa League is probably the goal for us this season. Yeah,
look, it's next year we'll win the league and the Europa League. Year after that, Champions League,
Cups. Break into Asia, start selling our t-shirts. Yeah. But look, we're a big club. We always will be. Always have been. Even when we were in the amateur Turkish division, we were the kings. Kings. We were breaking record for attendance in the amateur divisions. That's how big a club we are. Was there anything else that we didn't cover that you want to get in there? I think there wasn't too many big news stories, was there?
No, there's a shorter window between podcasts this time, I think so.
Yeah, that's true too. Well, I have to go pretty soon anyways. I have to get a tooth yanked out of my head.
Yeah, so who knows when the next podcast will be?
Spend the rest of the week probably on the injury list, not match fit.
It's bad. When I got my one out, it was fucking grim.
No.
Just it's not sore when it's happening, but it's the day,
Fuck.
the drooling and whatnot.
Did you get any drugs?
No, just numbed my face. That was all.
Oh, didn't prescribe you anything, no?
Not just said paracetamol.
Fuck that, man. I'm getting endorphin. I'm going all in. But something I might be doing is I might get a chance to watch the Pele documentary, which comes out today on Netflix.
Yep.
Apparently, that's really good. We might, like I say, if I'm have my wits about me, we might watch that this week and maybe review it.
Strung out on Nurofen.
Yeah. Or maybe if I get something harder, but if not, we could watch that this week. We might give a little review of that on Friday.
Yep, that sounds good to me. Anyway.
Hopefully get that podcast up Friday as well, maybe Saturday, depending on the cyber attacks and the drugs and all that other stuff.
Quite a few things going against this cursed podcast. But
a lot of variables, a lot of ins and outs, a lot of moving parts. So we'll see.
Yeah, I should be able to get it edited pretty quick. It's not much editing in this one, I'd say, actually, also.
No, I think this is one of our best episodes, I would say, of the two. Top two, anyways.
Honestly, that is nonsense. Nonsense. All nonsense. But listen, I've been on that road before.
Nonsense. Fucking nonsense. Why should we accept somebody talking nonsense? Like, what would you say? Just why are you talking nonsense about us? Why are you talking rubbish?